G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an assault shotgun. This is your Wastelander's junk AA12 shotgun, based off a AA12 prototype, complete with no carry handle on the top. So it already looks a little bit odd already. Plus, it's got wooden furniture, which we'll speak a little bit about later, because I got an interesting comment the other day pertaining to that particular subject. But this weapon is very similar to the War Daddy version of the AA12 that was released a few years ago at this point, like right back in like the infancy, before Starfield was even announced the AA12 was getting around. But this is about the third or fourth time the AA12 has appeared on the channel through various COD ports in the original one, and this one is going to be fairly similar to the OG version of War Daddies, complete with the same animations, and I believe they've even got the same sounds. And if they are using the same sounds, I hope they've leveled them properly so I don't go half deaf from using this thing. I don't have to shout over this thing to make sure you can hear me over this thing's firing, but I just, never mind. But let's talk about the furniture here, because I got a comment the other day on the previous video as of this recording, the objective rifle, and it goes like this, and this is referring to the objective rifle at the time. It says, "This is the epitome of throw wood on it and it's law friendly," which I feel like has been a little bit of a trend with these modders lately. They've made these really sort of modern concepts of weapons, or modern weapons in the game, made it look a little bit junky, and they've also given them wooden furniture. Now, I don't think you need to have wooden furniture to make it law friendly, just my 2 cents. You've got the Cambridge Polymer Labs just up the road in the Commonwealth, where you can create polymer composite power armor, and you can also modify your combat armor to be polymer. It's the highest modification for damage reduction in terms of how far you can push combat armor. So there's obviously combat applications that the Fallout universe uses for these types of materials, but for some reason modders don't want to put them on their guns. Maybe it looks like they're from the 50s or whatever. If they've got that, it's probably just an aesthetical choice, but they're not claiming law friendly here. But I just thought that was an interesting thing to talk about. Now, what else can I talk about? Probably the attachments. Yeah, we'll do those. So first of all, we've got the receivers. The strongest one is a powerful receiver, 215 damage, where this rate of fire is going to be particularly potent. You've also got a rapid receiver here. You won't get as much damage as a powerful receiver, but if you've got a strong enough shell to offset the DPS that you'll lose out the slower rate of fire compared to this one. Say if you've got the explosive rounds in this thing, a rapid receiver might be pretty interesting to use. Let's go over to barrels now, and we'll throw in a long barrel there. That'll increase the range, make it more accurate in VATS over a distance, and make it more consistent in terms of its damage output over a longer distance. That's what you want with a shotgun. More range, the better. Now goes stocks. We've got a makeshift stock. It's got some tape around it. A full stock, which is a makeshift stock without the tape and looks a little bit cleaner. There's also a gunslinger stock. Interesting. Does that have shells taped to the side? It does as well. That's cool. There's also a recoil compensating stock, which, you know, you wouldn't have thought there's much recoil to begin with, but let's mitigate that even more. Next, we've got the magazines. We've got a small mag, quick eject version of that, a medium as well, and a big drum magazine. No quick eject version of the drum magazine, but it's a whole lot of ammo capacity there, so I think that'll be nice. Is there a magazine trapped inside that magazine? What am I looking at there? That's kind of interesting. Next, we've got the sights. Probably not essential to put on a great deal of super sights on this thing, but if you want, there's holographics, reflex sights, and even scopes for all of your slug applications. We might have a look at that a little bit later, but let's just go for glow sights here. We don't have to be particularly accurate or precise with a shotgun. You can have a bayonet on the front, will reduce your range, but it's a shotgun. If you've got a bayonet, you want to run in close anyway, so it's probably one of the more logical choices for a bayonet on a shotgun. We've got a duckbill choke, which will increase your range and accuracy. Normally, these choke these down to make it a very flat spread, but I don't know whether that's going to be, you know, a thing in this mod. I don't know if you can even change the shotgun spread to be random and flat rather than just random all around. There's also a spiked compensator there that'll reduce your range. Again, a compensator, same deal, but good for recoil control. Muzzle brake again. And of course, a suppressor there will give you a little bit of extra damage thanks to your ace operator. Reduce your range, because that's just how standard Fallout guns do their balance with suppressors. But we'll go for a duckbill choke on this one. 134 range, I think, is pretty nice. Legendary effect provided by legendary modification. We'll skip that, even though something like this would be awesome. Let's go for junk shot shells. No, buckshot is the standard. You can have junk shot, which is, I don't know, maybe you'd find this a version on a raider using the junk shot shells, but the upgrade to The buckshot is just 1 lead, 1 plastic, 1 steel to get that up to standard. Flechette is interesting, armor piercing, which causes targets to bleed. Pretty nice. Dragon's Breath, that's the one that fires the incendiary sort of thing along with all of the shells. Magnum Buckshot will increase your damage and also recoil. Slug is 1 big fat projectile, makes it more precise over range. And you've also got rifled shells, rifled slug shells, makes it more accurate. Pulse slugs from New Vegas, very nice. A little bit of energy damage along with it as well. Doesn't say extra damage against power armor and robots, but it's helpful to get a little bit of extra damage out of that. There's also plasma versions, which are even better than your pulse slugs, but slightly less on your damage against robots, I'm guessing. I don't know if that's listed or not, but it's a little nice bit of an upgrade there. 2 science and 2 gun nut to get that happening. And of course, there's explosive as well. Fewer pallets, which is good for retaining damage, but less good for making it do a lot of damage by stacking all that explosive flat damage on. Let's go with something basic here. We'll just go Magnum Buckshot for these ones. 250 damage, a pretty good start. With a drum magazine and automatic fire, I think we'll be just fine. But I do want to experiment with the plasma, maybe the pulse slug, the explosive shells as well. Dragon's Breath, Flechette, all of these are actually quite interesting, except for the junk shot rounds. They'll never do. And you can change the furniture. You can have wood, black, which looks more like its prototype that is pictured in the mod. You can also have green as well. We'll go black. See, there's the polymer. Is that law friendly now? Hell yeah. I don't know, debate in the chat, I don't care. There are 3 uniques of this prototype AA12 derivative to find out in the world. The first one here is in the DB Tech High School, which is here. There's Diamond City, it's just around the corner. There's some robotics in there. And here's where you want to go. You want to go to the boss area. So follow me. I'm only going to do this once. So if you get lost, feel free to rewind. But we're going to go through this cell kind of rapidly, and we want to find the basement area where Bosco lives, and we find the chest there within, and we can find the unique on top of it. Keep in mind, if you are playing at home, there's going to be a lot of raiders, including Bosco, that you'll need to shoot, but here you'll find Bandit Blaster. It's a wounding shotgun, very nice, with a rapid receiver, sawed-off stock, and a sawed-off barrel and remove stock. Yeah, looks like it's sawn off, right? And junk shot. Okay, we're gonna have to change that, but yes, wounding on a shotgun, very good. Next unique you'll find will be at the Adam Cat's garage. So here we are. There's Spectacle Island. There's the castle. If you don't know where this place is, well, you probably haven't played Fallout 4 much, but you'll want to find Blue Jay. He's got the goods.
Cat like you.
And if we go into Garrus's shop, we've got Burning Rubber, which has a cool flame paint, and Rapid Receiver with the Rapid Legendary effect. That might be useful. We'll have to see how that one goes, but that'll set us back about 4 grand. That's kind of crazy, but it's probably worth the cash, to be honest. Money like that is easy to get at a late game level. And the last one you'll get from Brother Kane here in the Far Harbor, the Nucleus, is the DLC area. Don't worry about that, that's the Commonwealth map. I use console commands to teleport myself inside this cell because, well, technically, it's all vaporized right now. That's just the nuclear warhead that's just got into the roof. It didn't go off though, so it should be safe in here if we don't inhale the fumes. But you'll get Adam's Might. Here it is. It's a radioactive version. It's got some gamma gun greebling and radium rifle greebling on it, but that's cool, right? It's got a gamma receiver, a lot of radiation damage, so very useful against human enemies, but not much else. Pretty cool though. Welcome back to the Immersive Gunners Plaza. Here is our AA12, our assault shotgun in first person. Is it loud? Hang on, I'll check. Okay, I've just toned down the volume a little bit. That should be a little bit more tolerable now. Here is the one that I made on the workbench. Obviously got the recoil compensating stock. Big drum, that duckbill on the front, which doesn't seem to flatten the spread. It makes it very tight though. We've choked it down to like a rifle spec barrel, so I think we'll be just fine. And there's the ejecting shells there. That's kind of cute as they go along. And the reload animation... What am I looking at there? Wow, that's not where the charging handle is. It's normal in first person, though. That's interesting. A little bit of a carryover from a bygone modders era. We don't see a lot of mods animations from WAD Daddy these days, but here is our scoped version with the plasma slugs, which appear to be plasma projectiles, which aren't hit scan. It's going to make sniping a little bit more of a task. We'll have to lead our targets if they are moving, but it's only a 4x scope. That's the highest we got offered, so I think that'll be just fine for our purposes. Next, we've got the bandit gun. This one here, explosive. Less projectiles, of course, but it's also got a reflex sight, because I wanted to show what those look like. Even when you aim down sights, this thing's spread is pretty good. And here's another one. This one here is more true to its source material, except I've got a bayonet there because, well, you can sort of use it. That's the same animation as it would be for a non-bayonet. But if I want to get in close, I may as well make the most of it, right? Next, we've got the Adam Cat's version, which has the Dragon's Breath, but it appears just to be the legendary effect from the incendiary thing. So it's not like a burst of fire from out the barrel that'll set targets on fire. You could ding people from 50 meters and they'll just ignite because reasons. And of course, we've got the version, I was expecting more of like a gamma burst when it comes to using this thing, but nope, just shotgun shells, just normal, but carrying a lot of radiation damage. So if we get into like a pinch where we're like outnumbered like 12-1, we'll bring out Adam's thingo out and we'll crush everything with it. But for now, we'll start by sniping. I'll be honest, I've had much more effective sniper weapons before. He's going to completely out-heal that. We're going to have to wait until he gets nice and close before we can use this thing, aren't we? How about we... Yeah, okay. Okay. There we go. I got 100 damage on that guy. Must have shot him in the head or something. I'm barely touching him at all. Okay, looks like the stealth sniper approach has not gone very well. Also, since these projectiles are technically missiles, well, you'll find that when they get closer, it's fine. You'll find that the penetrator perk doesn't work with it at all. Anyways, let's go over to something a little bit more conventional. You're going to get critted, misses. Cop that. All that damage reduction gone away. Noticing a little bit more recoil than anticipated. The weapon is sort of getting away from me at some points. But it's taken a fair lot of killing to actually drop these guys. A whole lot of killing, actually. So the time to kill is a little bit on the slow side, or maybe the amount of shells to kill is a little bit higher than what I expect an average thing to be. Yeah, thanks, mouse. I appreciate that. Useless razor software, I'll tell you that much. So enter a wounding version. And a bayonet stab for good measure. I totally whiffed that. How about we do a little bit of shotgunning from range? You know what? I would have expected this thing to be a 3-round burst when firing like that. Come on, give me that bayonet crit. Come on. I don't think you get the wounding when you get the bayonet hits. I gotta say, this bayonet is not the most effective thing ever, and now you've gotten me angry, so... That didn't count, by the way. You didn't see anything. Alright, enough practice. Let's use something that is more specialized. You know what? I was expecting a little bit more. Perhaps we need to play this a little bit smarter than charging into like 18 people at a time. You see, the trick to carrying around a bunch of drum shotguns is just switching over instead of sitting through the reloads. Okay, maybe we use the explosive version. Where'd I put that? Ah, that's the stuff. That's what you want. Okay. Well, I think the damage difference here is quite pronounced, especially since I've pulled it out exactly as I hit Nerd Rage, so I'm getting like 400 per pellet. That's not ridiculous at all. But, yep, okay, so the power that I wanted, I've gotten. And the difference is staggering, the amount of power this thing has over its other things. Okay, she's come back down to earth now, and now we're pissed off for real now. Just cranky, really just steam flowing out the ears, face going red. Got that red, black stripe along the face. Everything else is red. Okay, that's a quick heal up. We can regain our composure and reload every single shotgun in our inventory. That one didn't have to be reloaded at all. Either that one. This one, however. Close range blaster. There's someone cloaked in front of me. Just hit them once they're down after they've done their death scream just to make sure. I gotta say, I would have thought there'd be way more when it comes to, well, bash damage and close range damage. Keep in mind that if you use the sawed-off barrel, which this one has, you get better crit damage. And, well, it may have been better, but it ain't very good. And that's all I'll say about that. I think we've only got the door breach left, which I don't think there's a particularly better weapon to utilize than this. I see you poking that Glock outside the door. That's not how it's going to work.
Got it.
So, we were kind of struggling there until I hit Nerd Rage and then pulled out the explosive one and killed absolutely everything. Would I say it's balanced? I would say, yeah. Because it fires faster than a combat shotgun. Similar amounts of damage. The capacity is a bit lower. The combat shotgun goes all the way up to 32, but at that point it's kind of negligible, especially if you've got ways you can mitigate the recoil, like quick hands, which modders hate, which I still continue to use, or perks like fast hands rank 2, where you can use the reload and VATS. What's that one called? I can't remember. Maybe it is fast hands or quick hands or whatever. But I can't be bothered looking at the perk chart right now. But, you know, the reload I don't think is too much of a problem. I remember the reloads on the drum shotguns being pretty slow, the AA12s. But this one appears to be as fast as anything else, so that's fine. So ammo is not really a problem. I think just the damage is not the best I've seen. Is that a trader? Oh, it's a man with his dog. Don't have to shoot them. That's fine. Alright, let's move on to something else. Okay, so this one might be a tough challenge here because, well, our capacity to do damage at range is like, it's nothing unless I'm barely touching him doing that, and that's with the 4x sneak criticals. And since this thing's automatic, absolutely no chance of sniper knockdowns either, so that tactic is off the table. But as he comes closer, we're starting to do a little bit of damage, but our ability to sneak crit at this stage, it's not around. Although, if we do get headshots when it comes to using this thing, ew, it's a centaur, kill it. If we do get headshots, we're doing a respectable amount of damage, but is it enough to sustain us? It might be, you know. Seem to be chewing into his health pretty fast there. You could probably get away with using this thing as, I don't know, like a close quarters battle rifle, because at least in Swan's case, if he's just got a massive, gigantic head, which we can just rapidly crit to death. Hell, maybe I'm relying too much on sneak criticals and have just gotten used to it. But it looks like we can get the job done. I mean, we did sort of do it as cheaply as possible, but okay, maybe we do something a little bit more reckless and tactical, or less tactical and more reckless, I suppose. How about we do something really stupid and engage a gigantic ghoul at point-blank range? The best we can hope for is a few staggers here and there. Well, that seems possible, actually. So what you can do is just keep on hitting him and just try to stack as much wounding damage as possible. And the mysterious stranger has shown up. He's actually doing a lot of damage. Try to summon him again, I suppose. There's a huge power difference between the... Well, that's not cool. Between the normal VATS and the VATS, the slow motion VATS mysterious stranger, that's a huge difference in power. He just keeps shooting all day. But a tactical use of Nerd Rage there, being punched in the face. Yeah, I wanted you to do that. Wouldn't particularly enjoy it, but it definitely worked for us in the end. Okay, so we are pushing it to well beyond what a combat shotgun can do at this point. Like, even with the explosive legendary effect, you might see slightly better damage per shot and everything because, you're not being penalized on projectiles. But for this thing, you've got all of that rate of fire combined with that fast reload that I was speaking about earlier. This thing's very powerful, and I didn't really see that until, I was facing the one target. But perhaps, ironically, is its crowd control, it's where it falls back a little bit. Or perhaps I was too Grognak the Barbarian just charging in there with a shotgun. But, I'm making it work for me. I'm glad that it's sort of found its place. Okay, this will be attempt 197 of making stealth status shotgunner work. And we're going to have to get real close for this to actually do anything. So I hope you brought your sneaking shoes today because we're getting right close to them. That's not a bad start. We might have to guerrilla warfare this, but getting all of that little bit of extra damage thanks to the mysterious stranger, that's pretty useful, I must say. There we go. We're getting some sort of sneak criticals going now. That's 1,000 damage. It's working. And I didn't mean to say that as like a prequel quote. I'm merely observing that the plan that I put into place is going well, and we can do this. But the stealth sniper shotgunner, well, would you really consider this sniping? Unless I was using some sort of like 18th century musket, and I'm out of here. See ya. Oh, whoops, never mind. We'll just have to go back to exploiting carriages to mess up AI the normal way. Just kidding. We got a thing on cooldown. Oh, he can still get me up here. Of course he can. So, Those always got himself stuck in the trees, doesn't he? Okay, we've got this one on ice. We're good now. We'll try to do this as quickly as possible. There we go. Alright, the job's done, and he stole my kill. Yeah, you better run. Alright. I think you get the idea. So we managed to make the stealth sniper thing work in the end. Just had to be really close within slingshot distance. Perhaps within melee VATS blitz distance, which I could have got a lot more damage done into multiple targets at the same time. But it worked in the end. So that there was the assault shotgun. And I think it's a pretty well balanced weapon. You can really push it to do things that I'm not sure that the developers of this mod would intend it to be as powerful, but it does work, and I think it's a pretty good weapon. Like, if you're a real stickler for lore friendliness, you could probably, use your brain for some mental gymnastics to justify the fact that this thing exists, but there's plenty of AA12 mods out there. This is one that is it better than the rest? I don't think so. I think the best one I've used is that COD port, but that really doesn't really fit in quite as well as this thing might. So yes, for a lore friendly approach, you might want to consider this one, or just the standard AA12 that War Daddy released all those years ago. But worth a look if you're interested. Xbox port will be coming soon. Maybe by the time I've uploaded this video, it'll be out there, but worth having a look at if you're interested in using a shotgun that'll bring you a lot of fun. Thank you very much for watching, guys. The assault shotgun is injected onto the level list at level 18. So at level 18, you'll find it on vendors, raiders, and gunners, and the like. And I was going to show you what it's like to get this thing at Clary's, but that would be interrupting Lily's Zumba routine. Look at her go.